Hello, my name is Fred Hughes. This is the series called I Am. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Well, that's good news. And Romans 8:16 says the Spirit Himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children. The Amplifier reads this way: the Spirit Himself thus testifies together with our own spirit, assuring us that we are children of God. Verse 17 says, and if we are His children, then we are His heirs also, heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ. Man, that's just such good news. I hope if you're beginning your day or wrapping it up, either way, that you're blessed, that you're encouraged just by thinking about the fact that you are, if you're born again, you are a child of God. In fact, you can say that, I am a child of God. That's very reassuring to you. In Paul's letters, we find in Romans 8:15 through 17, the story of the prodigal son. And it's just one of those that has been preached and repreached over and over again, but it has such value to it. God didn't give us a spirit of fear or to make us slaves. He wants us to be His son, His child. And so God made us a son, or He made us to be His son. The only way He could do that is through adoption. And I don't know if you know this or not, but in the United States of America anyway, when you adopt a child, that child actually has more rights than your actual biological children have. So it's very powerful, this thing called adoption. And we can call Him Daddy. We can call Him Abba, Father, because He loves us so much that He provided a way for us to be His son, His daughter. Our spirit knows God's spirit. He says, He says, my sheep know my voice, and no other voice will they follow. So we can hear His voice, we can know Him without any question. But the story of the prodigal son is just such a infamous story. And I just want to hit on the very end of it that relates to the sonship that he was walking in. You know the story how the younger son wanted the riches of his father, so he asked him for his inheritance earlier. He is one of the heirs, and he just asked for that inheritance early and went off and he spent it, and then finally found himself all the way in a pig pen and really doing less, or not making it at all. And so the encouraging thing is when he returned, he kind of worked on what he was going to say to his dad all the way back home. But when he got back to the house, or back to his home, the father saw him from a long distance away, ran and greeted him, and was quick to embrace him. And an interesting observation toward this thing called sonship, and that is that the father quickly placed a robe around him, covering him. And that robe represented the robe of righteousness. He made him right with his Father. And that's what God does. That's why when we become born again, the instant we do that, God wraps us in His righteousness. And He makes all of those things that aren't right with Him right once again. Isn't that exciting? And then He placed a ring upon the young man's finger, And it was a signet ring. It was one of those family crescent things. It is the way in that day and time they actually signed official documents and that sort of thing. So that ring represented authority. He restored to the son full authority as a son. Wow. And finally, he placed sandals upon this boy. And sandals represented the fact that he was a son and not a slave. Slaves didn't have shoes, but sons did. Righteousness, authority, and sonship. Pleasant, wonderful examples of how much your God loves you. Now, if you will, just with me, say, I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am a child of the Most High God. He loves me, and He will never leave me or forsake me. My daddy loves me. I hope you were blessed, and will join me with some of the other issues that we go and do a kind of series in this I Am series, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. God bless you.